Hello viewers, this is Al Sudani, otherwise known as Saints on Steam, one of the creators of the Saxxy Sax submission. I've decided to make a video answering some of your questions that I feel need to be answered due to some of the confusion about the Saxxy Sax original universe submission. Also, after today, I won't be able to access his computer until January due to holiday, so I might as well get this out of the way now, as I won't have the resources to make this video later. Before we get into the actual making of our submission, one question that I've seen a lot is, okay, so I understand that this 2D animation was made in SFM, but why use SFM? There are much better tools for 2D animation. And to that I answer, why not? What if, for example, I wanted to create a movie in SFM that incorporated both 2D and 3D? I wouldn't be able to do so very easily because, while the tools for the 3D portion are present, they aren't meant for 2D animation. This means that I'd have to use more than one program besides SFM to create the 2D and 3D into a single movie. SFM is supposed to be the ultimate filmmaking tool, so why not incorporate some 2D tools and non-VTF image solutions for the potential of some interesting 2D and 3D animations? This brings me to my point to another question commonly asked. I get what the video is trying to do, but doesn't this video go against the point of this contest? This seems like a cheap attempt at an entry. Where is the SFM animation? On the contrary, the contest isn't about making some production and calling it a day. The Saxxy Sax video is, in fact, the whole point to this contest. Check out this quote by the Source Filmmaker team on the point of the contest. Nothing makes us happier than people using and giving feedback on the SFM. We wanted this tool to keep getting better and better, and to do that, we'll need creative folks like you pushing the SFM in new directions. SFM team. We are competing for the Saxon Hale Trophy because we believe that, although the other original universe submissions are great, our submission does something that none of the videos in our category accomplish. That is, the actual point and final goal of the contest, helping the SFM team push Source Filmmaker in newer and better directions by actually submitting and demonstrating creative feedback for SFM in our submission. As in, the animation and process required to create the animation is genuine feedback that the SFM team can actually use to improve SFM. So another question that's commonly asked is, everything is 2D. Are you sure this is a Source Filmmaker made submission? Short answer, yes. Long answer, yes. But seriously folks, the Saxxy Sax animation was created in SFM. And this next part of the video will give a basic explanation and behind the scenes look on how to create a 2D animation in a 3D environment. Because of the condensed nature of the video, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail into the process. I'll explain just enough so that those that understand SFM and the tools related to it can understand how I made Saxxy Sax. However, I will provide some tutorial links in the description, so that those that want to actually learn will have the resources to do so. So how did we get to SFM in the first place? After the animation stills were scanned into the PC, cleaned up, and the between animations were added, we ended up with a ton of PNGs which we had to deal with. Our total PNG count for Saxxy Sax was actually near 600 images. So we have to change those images into animated VTFs, using VTF Editor. There's an excellent tutorial over at Game Banana on creating animated textures. It's the first tutorial link on the description. Make sure to split the whole animation into multiple animated VTFs, because having too many images converted to a VTF crashes VTF Editor. A good number of images per VTF seems to be around 150 pictures at 512 by 512. So in total, I only had to use 4 separate animated VTFs. After the VTFs are created, we need to go and create a VMT for each texture to identify them as animation, and set the frame rate. Again, the Game Banana tutorial goes into detail on how to do this. When all that was done, I replaced previous textures with newly created animated VTFs. There's another tutorial that explains texture swapping. It's the second link in the description. As you can see here, the animated VTF has replaced all the textures of the map. Seems like I'm using the old animated VTF. The one before I corrected it to the new one that was used in Saxxy Sax. Can't be bothered to close SFM just to load the corrected one. But you know what? On the plus side, you'll learn something crucial about the nature of VTFs. Check out that black space. See that? This is what happens when you don't fill in any transparencies in image editors. They show as black on a VTF. I actually had to go back and correct that. I made a new VTF for what is now in Saxxy Sax. Believe me, it wasn't fun going back and correcting that at all. Okay, moving on. Again, we see the animated VTF surrounding our environment. This is actually the first VTF, which covers scene 1 and 2 from Saxxy Sax, and is about 28 seconds long for the song. Camera 1 is already set up. As you can see, because the VTF is 512 by 512, you can see the intrusive, repeating images from left, right, top, and bottom. So after recording the animated VTFs into a video, you'll need to crop the video after it has been exported, if you are using square VTFs with sizes like 512 by 512. So once the camera is set up, I recorded the music track while the animation played back.
That golden man is most reflective. It set me feeling quite effective, making me blush with that rosy smile. A lustrous face and muscle backer, charming egomaniac, even they'll admit you've got some style.
Now you can do two different things at this point to record the rest of the animated VTFs. First method is you can replace the first VTF with the second, etc. and record. The neat thing about this method is that the camera is still in the same spot, so you get the same lighting when you switch the animated VTFs. Plus, cropping the videos once they are stitched together will be easier. The second option, if you don't want to stitch, multiple videos, is to have all the animated textures in one map while recording. Thanks for watching the video on how and why Saxxy Sax was made. Hopefully now, people understand the point of our submission. Remember to vote for it if you support SFM acquiring new features. Again, we feel that we are doing exactly what the Source Filmmaker team is looking for in this 2012 contest, that we feel no other video in our original universe category is doing. Competing for the Sax and Hale Trophy, while also meeting the final goal of the SFM team's contest. Pushing SFM into newer and better directions by demonstrating useful and creative feedback. As in, the animation and process required to create the animation is genuine feedback that the SFM team can actually use to improve SFM. Have a good one, viewers.